What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online jam league? JamiroFan 2000 here with my final episode of my Heels of Steel Tour recap 2025 on this absolutely bewilderingly crazy, awesome 15 tour date tour that we had between the months of November to December of 2025. And I'm here to give you my final thoughts in summation on this absolutely amazing tour. And it pretty much boils down to three main bullet points on why this tour in particular, in the subject of beginning tour legs of any new album era of Jamiroquai, at least in the latter modern era of Jamiroquai's live touring history, why this one is very, very special. And I'm going to go into all three of these bullet points right here, starting off with the first one. The first main bullet point that really makes Heels of Steel Tour 2025 stand out from all the other, at least latter touring residencies or catalogs for Jamiroquai's live touring over the last few years is the complete instrumental modifications or reimagining of the classic collection of standard Jamiroquai tracks that consist and comprise of the live Jamiroquai set list. We've had some amazing reimaginings, be it intros, outros, instrumental segues and segues and interludes throughout this set list. Now, in the past, at least as of the Dynamite to the Rock the Slice Star era of Jamiroquai's online touring history, when it came to them funking up, you might say funked up their original Jamiroquai songs throughout the live set list, Jamiroquai only originally did a scant amount of them. They only did like maybe two to three refunkenings of old Jamiroquai tracks, but on this one, they really went daring. They went in full bore. They literally remodified a majority of Jamiroquai tracks in this live set list, nearly two-thirds on the percentage of modified intro, outro, instrumentally changed. In some cases, like song in the case of Cloud 9, reimagining the song instrumentally in two separate different versions throughout the 15 tour dates that comprise this Heels of Steel Tour 2025, which is absolutely amazingly impressive for this band. And that to me is one of the main bullet points of why Heels of Steel Tour 2025 from Jamiroquai stands out at the top of being one of the most impressive out of the gate new album touring salvos for Jamiroquai in modern history. Now, this second major bullet point about Heels of Steel Tour 2025 being such a substantial opening to a new album era, at least in touring residency sets for Jamiroquai, is the extension of the overall time limit of Jamiroquai concerts throughout Heels of Steel. Originally, Jamiroquai live gigs, at least in the modern era, starting at I want to say around maybe synchronized to the modern time throughout the new sound era of Jamiroquai's musicology, had only averaged between hour and 45 to 2 hours in length. But with Heels of Steel, the Jamiroquai extended literally every song, regardless if it was new or an old track in these reimaginings, just performing long, nearly 10-minute long reimaginings and instrumentally different varied versions of the classic Jamiroquai songs and, of course, of their new songs throughout this tour. And their tour time limit average of their gigs, and in some cases going nearly past curfew laws in some of their regional tour dates of this said tour, went up to nearly 2.5 hours to 2 hours and 45 minutes. Just to give you an example, today's final tour date of the Heels of Steel Tour 2025 that happened at the O2 Arena in London on night 2 on December 14th, 2025, where literally live stream elapsed time was nearly 2 hours and 40 minutes. That is incredible live performance longevity for Jamiroquai. And it's not really indicative of their modern history of touring, and that to me is another major bullet point of why Heels of Steel Tour 2025 is a substantially incredible tour for any beginning of any modern album era for Jamiroquai. And finally, my third and final major bullet point on my summation of the Heels of Steel Tour 2025 between November and December of 2025 is, in addition to the new headgear made by Moritz Waldemar Studios, who have a history with Jamiroquai, having created the automaton variations of JK's hats during the automaton era between 2017 to 2020, in addition to JK's new headgear, which is amazing and awesome, hopefully will be a major element of their upcoming music videos for this upcoming ninth album era of whatever the new album's called. And I still think I'm going to stand by the new Jamiroquai ninth album being titled Disco Stays the Same, is the new material they aired out in this ninth album era of Jamiroquai's first tour salvo of Heels of Steel Tour. These three new songs, which, if you've been watching my channel, I have individually been going through one at a time. Disco Stays the Same, Shadow of the Night, and of course upcoming Queen Machine, which will hopefully be coming here on my channel very soon. This new material is incredible. At least in the sense of exploring a musical genre which in the past was vilified and hated and literally turned on by the whole musical community in the late 70s, disco. And seeing these three songs being interpreted online for the first time in the live element, and I do believe the best new music is when is debuted live rather than just released ambivalently on an album release from Jamiroquai. But these three new songs, each three of these songs are indicative. They're different. They do show a lot of disco sensibility to them, but they are like a good onion and have a lot of layers to them upon repeated listenings for anybody in the Jamly to check out in their own time. And I highly recommend that the Jamly goes back and watches all the live videos of these three new songs and gets a feel for them, because they are absolutely awesome. And I have a very strong feeling that the rest of the material that is yet to be aired live, or we have yet to hear from this new album, will be very, very varietous, or with a lot of variety. This could probably end up being the first Jamiroquai album since Traveling Without Moving to show many different varieties of sound, instrumentation, compositional, transitional complexity, and that to me is the best part of Jamiroquai. It's the complexity of Jamiroquai's music, and I just know Jamiroquai Album 9, indicative of these three tracks, is sure to please us all and make us get thinking and to explore it sonically through our repeated listenings throughout the future. But overall, I think this whole tour was an amazing opening salvo and one of the best of the modern era of Jamiroquai in regards to any new album era from Jamiroquai. And that's it for this series. I hope you enjoyed this series and have been following along tour date by tour date of my thoughts and my emanations and all the great live videos. And I want to send a big thank you to everybody in the online Jamly that contributed online performance footage from this concert that I could share here on my channel. Thank you all for having the privilege to seeing Jamiroquai live and then share that love in live recordings of all the different tracks, all the different reimaginings that happened on this tour. Thank you all for contributing to my channel and showing off all this great footage of Jamiroquai in the live arena, which is literally their bread and butter and where Jamiroquai really does thrive. Massive thank you to the whole road crew who keep the Jamiroquai tour machine going. Thank you all for just an immaculate stage setup, for just setting everything up so the band members of Jamiroquai can play at their best and JK can sound at the best. JK alone, he is at his vocal peak right now. I've never heard JK's vocals this good in such a long time, at least in the modern era. And Jay's been really taking good care of himself, in addition to all the band members of Jamiroquai taking care of himself. Also, massive thank you to the two new band members of Jamiroquai that were added to this tour. Of course, I'm talking about Moreno and, of course, Sarah, Baba Moreno. He was the percussionist who basically took the place of Shola Akimbala, who unfortunately was not on this tour. And, of course, Sarah backing up Matt Johnson on keyboards and other synth effects. Thank you both for bringing your own amazing musicianship to the music of Jamiroquai and making them continue to sound as one of the best music artists and bands in all of live music performing. And thank you all for watching my series here on JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. I do this as I pretty much do this as a PSA service for the online Jamly to keep you all informed in what's happening with Jamiroquai and everything with Jamiroquai. And I hope you stick around and stay subscribed to my channel and check out all my future content, because believe me, Jamiroquai Album 9, in addition to this tour, is going to have some amazing, great stuff coming down the pipeline as we go into 2026. And it'll be my honor to bring you all that as it becomes available. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you around with more Jamiroquai related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Thank you again all for support throughout 2025 and going into 2026. Exciting times, and I'll see you around.
This cosmic, I wanna take you into space tonight. Baby, when you get this cosmic, I wanna take you into space tonight. Baby, when you get this cosmic, I wanna take you into